Hey folks, Daily Landsblog here. Guess who's not here? Brando Landsberg getting his hair cut. He's getting groomed, so I can guarantee you that we'll show him tomorrow and you'll see just what that dog looks like when he is all prettied up. I wanted to share something with you that I've actually never ever talked about before. And I was thinking about it this morning as I was driving back from Buffalo. I went to Buffalo for the NHL draft. The night before, I had been in at the Argos game where they launched their tailgating, and I was walking around talking to people. And I spent all of my TV life telling myself, convincing myself that recognition was insignificant, that people would recognize you not because it was a compliment, but because it was the nature of your job. So no matter what they said, and mostly it's good, people very seldom come up to you and say, hey, you know what, I don't like you. Although it has happened a couple of times, different story for a different day. So I would always spend this time telling myself it didn't mean anything, right? And I think I managed that really well. And as a result, even though there was a lot of times when obviously with my family and with friends who were not in the industry, I was the most famous person in the room. But I realized that fame actually meant nothing. It wasn't a compliment, it was just the nature of your job. And it didn't make you better than anyone else, and it didn't make you worse. But now I'm walking around last night at the Argo game in the parking lot, and people are stopping me. And they're not saying, hey, I watch OTR, or I used to watch OTR, or some were actually saying, I listened to you on the radio. But they were saying other things. They would drop their voice down, and it would be, can I talk to you for a second, Michael? And as soon as they say that, as soon as I see the body language, I know what they're going to talk about. And I heard these stories of people who were impacted by SickNotWeak, by the website, by the blog, by a speech that I've given over the past couple of years, by something I've written. And these were not comments like, hey, thanks for doing that. These were the deepest, most personal, imaginable comments that you can imagine. So here I am listening to that, and I'm thinking, well, I'm so used to turning off these comments and making them insignificant. And I realized I shouldn't be doing that with this, because this is significant. This is the most significant thing that's ever happened to me in my life. And I had to change the way I listen to other people. Instead of saying, don't pay attention to that, it was, pay attention to that. Because when you find out the impact that you can have, and I don't mean me, I mean anyone. We can all have this impact if we suffered. But I have chosen to expose myself. So now, when I hear from people, I've decided I got to look at it differently and say, you know what, that does make a difference, because it inspires you to do more. Because when you hear someone say, it changed my life, you don't ignore that. You don't forget that. You don't walk away and kind of go, whatever. You think to yourself, wow, I got to do more of that, because it's so damn easy. Next time, tomorrow, you'll see Brando. In case you got to remind me, tell the story of the guy who said, hey, Landsberg, I don't like you. That's coming up tomorrow. SickNotWeak.com. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 364 days a year. Why are we here? Why do we exist? I heard the answer last night in the parking lot.